the Greater Cincinnati BPA's Youth King of Bowling. Brought to you by Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The Greater Cincinnati BPA wishes to take a moment and salute the telephone pioneers in their efforts to promote youth sports of all kinds. Pro bowler Steve Fehr has been working with young bowlers in our area, and among the best this year are Brian Hemler, Jody McKenzie, and Mike Wilson. The telephone pioneers are to be acknowledged for their very positive contributions to our young people, and the Greater Cincinnati BPA sends thanks from all of us.
Match of the day.
We're going to see some attributes to which we've been alluding to as all of these young people that we have had in our Kings, the good fundamentals that they've had, and that wasn't one of them.
No, it was not. Scott, a lot of velocity on the ball, as Dave talked about in the open. He really lets it fly, and with a pretty fair amount of hook on it, although not much there.
Well, Scott opening the show with a pole shot, right straight through the nose, a 4-6. But again, what we're going to probably see today, Tommy, is a lot more nervous tension than what you would normally see from the older players. But he picks up one of them, and that's a smart move.
I bowled here in the Youth King of TV about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, and I bowled against Ralph Goyette.
Remember? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a really good match, but I was very nervous.
Mike Wilson.
Clammy palms. Right?
No good. Good-looking shot here, but he goes to the opposite side.
Looked like he dropped it a little, Dave.
Well, he's been
clammy
hands. Maybe those clammy
that?
hands we talked about, right? Scott, with his handicap added in, he starts out with 25, even though he only got 9. It's 25 in the first frame. Mr. Wilson not receiving any pins. Going right straight through the nose, 6, 9, 10, and it looks like he's going to make it.
That was a good shot, too, considering the old-fashioned ball returns that come up. They do get in your way on those cross-alley spares. So I was impressed with that shot.
Yeah, we all grew up, well, not we all, Jen. A lot of us older players grew up with these style of ball returns in almost every establishment, and it actually makes your spare game even sharper. Look at this ball.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely fantastic shot out of this young man. Driving through on the replay, you're going to see this ball just cut right straight through the head pin and the 2 pins. Second one from the middle of the screen to the left. There it goes to the wall, comes up and over the top of the 7 pin, crash 7 in the first part of our match.
Boy, he really throws
Hold all my calls, please.
Good ball. I'm very impressed. He cranks it, and yet he really strokes it. Uh-oh.
Boy, what a shame that is. As we mentioned, Scott Middleton is getting spotted 16 pins. Middleton an average of 153, and the gentleman we're looking at now, Mike Wilson, an average of 174. Now Scott Middleton steps right there, and a little light in his second frame.
Very little light there for a few minutes. I
Yeah,
guess we're
I
supposed to
thought so,
identify our local station or something. I don't know.
Lights went out here at Glenmore for just a second, but they've got everything turned back on. Did a real nice job of getting everything squared away. Never mind.
Our crew today is doing a crack job as usual, and these two young men are showing a little bit of nerves early on.
A perfect example right there.
2-4-5 missed by country mile, but again, if you regroup and get back into the game, everything can be okay.
Scott is a Hoosier State native. He goes to East Central High School in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. He's 15 years old. He is a big young man for 15. Rolls out of Durban. This looks good. Went to the opposite side.
Hanging up in almost every shot, and again, that is nervous tension. You got to relax to get out of the ball good and clean. Scott not relaxed at this point in the match again, but it's early.
Jen, how long did it take you before you felt comfortable for your first time on TV?
Actually, I really felt pretty comfortable. The first time I was on the Queen qualifier, or on the show, the youth one, though, I remember I was very nervous, but I did have like the first 5 in a row. I was nervous. I got a little lucky, crossed over on a couple. And
what? First
Gordon,
5 in a row?
I did. I honestly did.
You
and my, my outdoing was the 8-10 split.
Oops, got it in. Got it in and twirled it down.
Mike Wilson, an Anderson High School student.
Ball is really taken off. Let's see if we can pick up what he's doing here. Both players are continually going high. Now, this ball looks like it, right there. Okay, he's not arcing the ball far enough out to the channel. It's not that it's rolling off early. Going right straight through the head pin, leaving the 3-9. A delicate spare for even the better players, Tommy. Let's see what this young man can do with a difficult spare. Look out. Oh, all right. There we go.
Good shot.
Got to hit that one dead on, don't you?
You betcha. Right up front. And,
well, let's see. It's noontime. I'm about ready for some chicken. What do you say? Some of those Lee's famous recipes, spices?
Send out for some
Lee's.
Let's
go get a bucket.
And
we got those specials running.
Yeah, get a 6-pack of Pepsi and a bucket of chicken. We'll be in good shape, huh?
My tummy's growling.
Mike Wilson. There's the shot he's looking for. He just missed it his last 2 frames, but boy, dead on the money here.
What a shot. We've been looking for this ball. Board 12 goes out to about board 10, tight line, 1-3 pocket, annihilated, devastation personified.
Boy, it's really getting deep around here today. Scott Middleton. Dead on that head pin. Got a break to avoid a spare. To avoid a split, I should say. Leaves that 6 standing.
In case you just joined us, this is a handicap format. Middleton is getting 16 pins, and Wilson, of course, isn't getting any. How's the match look right about this point?
I thought you were talking about the announcing crew handicap.
Yeah, just about.
In that case, Newrath would be getting in the neighborhood of 200 or 300, and Jen and I would be out of the gate with 0.
We might not be doing too good today, but we're having fun anyway, right?
That's right. Scott David Middleton picks up the spare there in frame number 4 after coming back with a spare in frame 3. But Wilson is working on a strike in his 4th. Middleton looking good.
Oh, deflection.
Called that one, Jen. Almost had it.
Scott's highest game is a 256. He started bowling at the age 13, so he's only been bowling 2 years, and I'm sure he'll stick with it, and he'll improve a lot. And we may see him in a couple years on the King.
Well, the youth program in Cincinnati is as good as any and better than most.
Could have made that split had he left
it. 5-10 would have been history. But the youth program in this town is fantastic. It has produced some big names. Steve Fehr, for one, and there you see our score. We at this point have a pretty close match. So even with the misses early on out of Scott Middleton, we still have a game.
Another 7.
He's really got that ball, it looks like, exactly where he wants it, but just not getting the help.
Mike is really just ripping the bottom out of the ball. And to the younger players, yeah, you do have to have the rotation and the heavy roll on the ball to score big. But don't place the emphasis on the amount of boards that you're going to cover from left to right. Place it on the amount of revolutions on the ball as it's hitting the pins.
Oh, and he missed the spare.
Spare shooting reminds me of a few people that have graced our telecast, one of which standing behind me today, Robin Burris. Did he go to your spare shooting school? No. Yeah, okay. All right.
Did you hear that? Robin went to your spare shooting school.
How about that? See, Dave, you pick on somebody and they come right back to get you.
That's it.
Hey,
okay.
Dave, I understand you got a bag of fan mail. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, whole bag. Like to, as we watch Mr. Wilson cross over to the Brooklyn side. Yeah, I've got one postcard here, and I'm really proud of that. I'm going to frame that in. Thank you, Dorothy. Just yours and mine's secret.
You're not going to tell us
No,
about it.
I'm not going to
then.
tell about it. It's my
Uh-oh.
one piece of fame
Where's
mail.
Sandy? She might want to hear about this.
Dorothy, Marley, thank you very much.
Oh, good shot there.
Stone 4.
Looks like both players, Dave, are starting to find their
Loosening,
grooves
yeah,
here.
exactly, Tommy. Loosening up a little bit. You know, before the match started, I try to go down and tell them whatever your tempo is, don't change. It's a TV show. Have a lot of fun. And then the minute the guy leaves, they go, tense back up. Sure, this is TV. Thousands of people are watching these two young men right now.
You better believe that. And he is going to miss the spare again. So Scott Middleton. Boy, now, you know, we mentioned, of course, that he does have the 16-pin advantage to start with, but you just can't miss those spares, and he has done that in the 6th and in the 2nd.
Exactly, and Mike Wilson at this point, if he spares in the 7th frame, would give him 96, would cut the pin to the deficit to 2 pins, and if he strikes in the 7th frame, he does in fact take the lead.
There we go.
How about that? Crossover once again.
Yeah, that'll work.
Our
Scott
standby this morning is Dennis Shuro, and he shot 1,047 in the qualifier, and he came out to stand and watch, which isn't always a lot of fun to be that standby.
There you saw a replay of that flush Brooklyn strike. Mike Wilson, right lane, crosses over. Likewise, he says, touche. They must be falling over there. I'm moving.
He doesn't look real happy with that.
Nah, you're never happy with it, but I tell you what, you take it. Again, not trusting the ball to the right, getting the ball in early, and the big hook is going to take it over into the 1-2 pocket. Flush. Out of here.
Dave, how about that apparatus Mike wears on his arm?
Well, that's not really an apparatus to help the ball in, but it takes some of the stress off of the tendons, Tommy. A lot of the big crankers are wearing those because of the amount of tension. There you go. That's what you want to see. The amount of tension and torque you put on the tendons, that just helps to take it off. Watch it here. Go ahead and throw this one, young man. This is a great shot. 10th board, 1-3 pocket annihilated. No deflection here. 10 in the pit. Every pin doing its job. Mr. Wilson threw a great shot for a triple.
And there's another good-looking shot, this time from Scott Middleton. Boy, these guys, we said it a couple of frames ago, but really look like they're starting to find the groove. Wilson with 3 strikes in a row. That was Middleton's 2nd in a row.
Exactly. Both players with a double working. Mike Wilson has the advantage at this point. 8 pins in the lead is Mike Wilson. There he is. There's more people calling in, seeing what's going on
Dave's
today.
car phone. He's got it pulled right in here to Glenmore today.
Yeah, get the phone for me, will you, Robin? Working on a double, going to Brooklyn again.
Wow. Had some pins dancing around in there.
A key shot in the match right here. Scott Middleton will throw the ball to the Brooklyn side again. Almost gets away with it. Head pin going straight back. Now leaves a 3. Now that is the 5 pin taken out. The 6 and almost taken out the 10. The 3-10 split for the better player. The odds are 1 out of 3. For this young man, it may be like 1 out of 5 or 6. But it is very makeable.
Not this time. He gets one of them, but he has an open frame, and he hasn't done that since back in the 6th. And not a very opportune time for him to leave an open frame, because this young man from Anderson High School, Mike Wilson, as you see, working on the triple.
Yeah, Mike is in control of the match at this point and can put it away with this shot. Look out again.
Point out, you talked about the fact that he was not trusting his roll enough, and then he came back in his last frame and really put it where he wanted it this time. Again, comes up short.
Again, the human animal, we can't groove it in like a machine, Tommy. A lot like if a pitcher is trying to work that outside corner of the plate, and his breaking ball just didn't break him the same each and every time, you're going to lose those shots. And we've got exactly the same thing in the sport of bowling. The human element. And Mike Wilson misses the spare, gives him 163, and don't go away yet. We have a 9-pin match. Mike Wilson is in the lead by 9 pins, but there's 3 frames to throw in the 10th.
Mike Wilson.
On his good lane, throwing a good shot. Leaving the 4-pin on a pretty good stroke. Now, what that means is if Mike Wilson can bring this frame back with a spare and then strike, would give him 183. Scott Middleton would have to strike out in the 10th frame to win by 1 stick. So this is a very, very big spare, Tommy.
Without question. We've seen both competitors, due to nervousness, to be quite honest about it, as we referred to a little bit, missing some spare shooting, and this time he gets it. Nicely done.
Count is extremely important on this ball. If Mike Wilson were to get anything less than a strike, then that means Scott Middleton is going to have to throw the first 2 regardless, but then his count ball becomes a little easier. So big, big shot from Mike Wilson.
The 16-year-old going to try to win our first game here on the Pepsi Youth King, and boy, did he bring it wide, but he got some help.
Well, he trusted it on that ball, and it paid off. A pretty good 9-pin count. Now, situation is this: Scott Middleton needs the first 2 and 9 to win by a stick. There is no tomorrow for Scott Middleton if he does not strike on this ball.
See the look of intensity. Looking to step
Close.
There.
Just didn't quite catch the roll that he needed to catch to get in there. Mike Wilson will go on to game number 2. Scott Middleton, though, is throwing a game that he knows he could do better, but for the first time on television, ain't all bad.
Nope, it isn't.
I've seen worse.
And he's only been bowling 2 years, so experience, he'll get some.
Yeah, he certainly will. And Middleton looks for the spare. That is nicely done. Well, you know, you bring the nerve factor into play for Mike Wilson. He's a 174 average bowler, and he had 182 in his first game, so he has certainly represented himself well. Now Scott Middleton.
Finish out here with a strike, give him 174, but to no avail today. Game 1, Glenmore Bowl, the youth finals. There you go, the mixer.
Nice shot. Well, Mike Wilson will move on to our next match. We've got that coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to Glenmore Bowl. Tom Brenneman along with Jennifer Kleekamp and David Newrath, our Pepsi Youth King of TV bowling today.
Right there, we were just looking at Brian Himmler and Steve Fehr, who are going to have an exhibition match.
Exhibition match.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, we're going to get into that a little bit, tell you all about the circumstances surrounding that match that's going to take place. And we're going to... There you go. There's a happy young man. Get out, start the match off with a strike.
Yes, sir. Stan Russell from Green Hills High School, 16 years old. And here's the guy who won our last game, Mike Wilson from Anderson High School. And he starts, again with a crossover. But, hey, if it works, keep on plugging.
Working.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, the information we're going to pass along to you is that the winner of today's show is going to earn the right to go on and bowl a one-game match with Steve Fehr and also Brian Himmler, who is the high average from the Travel League squad here in Cincinnati, and Jody McKenzie is going to be the woman entries. We see a solid 4-9 out of Mike Wilson. Tough break, and we'll take a look at it here in just a minute. Mike Wilson is going to throw probably one of the better shots today and get the 4-9 to show for it. Now, ball's going to break sharply. Takes the head pin straight back in between the 4 and the 9.
Well, he's really mixed it up.
Well, he's going to have to mix this 4-pin right into the 9. Going to have to bank this across. It's close. It's close.
Oh, nice.
That's what you want to see. You want to get just a little bit less of that 4-pin and throw it into the 9. We'll see if we can show you. He just misses it here. Now, if the ball was just one board more to the left, it would take the 4 into the 9, but there you see it going right in back of it by less than an inch. Tough break. Good shot, Mike Wilson. Stan Russell striking the first frame.
And he got 10 more to go. He jumped right in front of our camera there, but take our word for it, he had 10 in the pit.
That was a great shot. Stan Russell came out smoking.
Sure
I'll
has.
say.
No joking.
Ooh.
Some more.
He doesn't look a bit nervous.
I tell you what.
He's smiling. I mean, I think
he's having fun.
He is. That's great.
He's having fun. Maybe he doesn't think we're on air yet.
Maybe not.
He's just warming up.
Don't tell him.
Yeah,
but
don't
anyway,
tell him.
But anyway, Brian Himmler's going to be there, Jody McKenzie, and the winner of today's show, leaving the 2 on a light hit. Going to be at, I don't know where the match is going to be held, but Steve Fehr is going to be there, and it's all in connection with the bicentennial, as this city is really getting into this year, and it's sponsored by the Kilgore chapter of the Telephone Pioneers of America, and they're sponsoring several events this year: bowling, basketball, baseball, softball, running, soccer, football, etc., golf, swimming,
You name it.
Whew, yeah, all in connection with the great bicentennial celebration, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
I believe it will be here, won't it, Dave?
Yes.
Just to let you know, folks, nobody is getting any pin advantage, handicap in this one. This is straight shooting.
These are some good
shooting.
bowlers.
Yeah.
Whoa, they come out there. That was a great shot, too, by the way. And Mike is struck, opened, and struck. But even his open in the second frame was a good shot. So Mike's got all the butterflies gone. They're out of here. Stan Russell is looking good. We're going to have a match.
A lot of paper to go.
And Lou Hudipol's taking care of that for us. There we go.
Lou always does a good job for us. Never makes a mathematical error like some people I know.
Oh, how about that?
What a break. Not as good as the last frame on this, but he gets a great break. Look at it here on the replay. A pin is going to come out of the pit and take out the solid 3. Going to cut right straight through the head pin. Let's see if we can pick up which pin is doing its overtime work here. Head pin goes back. That's the head pin. Does a whirly bird scout into the wall and then back into the 3 pin, working overtime. Another one working overtime. Stan Russell, great shot.
Boy, he has really come out with a vengeance here. Strikes in the first and second, a nice spare in the third, and now another strike in the fourth. So both of these guys working on 3 strikes so far in this game. Stan Russell.
58 pins should Mike strike, and that would give us an 11-pin game. Look at this, another great shot.
Boy, oh boy.
Absolutely fantastic. We are seeing some bowling here. Right here, we're going to watch an absolutely perfect strike. 1-3 pocket annihilated. 11 pins is the match as we watch the most perfect strike ever. And stay tuned and watch this, and we'll be back in just a few moments.
Last week at Strikes and Spares, Alan Runkle defeated Ray Chesborough and all the past kings to become the final King of the Year. And Famous Recipe salutes Alan Runkle on becoming the 1988 King of Bowling.
There you see him. That is Terry Ciccone on the right, and with the striped tie, Del Ellis. And those are 2 of the people behind the behind this match that we're going to be seeing, set up by the Telephone Pioneers of America.
Well, again, Mike continues just to miss by a little bit.
Looks like he just isn't making the adjustment, Dave. What do you think you would...
Exactly right, Jen. The 3-9, again, an indication he's going high, consistently not trusting the ball. If you're constantly doing that, do something. You know, even if you throw one out in the weeds, you know, just make a change instead of going right straight through the nose, because it's going to catch up with you. Mike, in this situation, needs to get untracked here, loosen his shot up a little bit, because he's got a real competitor in Stan Russell this game.
Yeah, Stan's looking real good. Not a bit nerved.
Mike Wilson enjoys cars, BMX racing, which has become popular with many of our youth.
There you go. That's the shot you want. Mike Wilson, left lane, absolutely straps one. Trust the ball. Here you go. Over the 11th board, takes it out to about the 7th. You can see the look on his face. He knows it's a strike. 1-3 pocket completely filled up. A scout going across, but all vacant.
Ouch.
Wow, what a shot. Stan Russell threw an absolute rope for a solid 10-pin on that shot. That one would have really put him in the lead, but I tell you what, we still have a match. If he spares in the 6th frame, gives him 118 in the 5th, that gives him a 22-pin lead as it is, and it could have been a lot more with a strike there.
I'm very impressed with these young men. I guess, how old is Stan? He's 16. He started bowling at the age of 6 again, so, you know, he has 10 years of bowling already under his belt. Mike, on the other hand, has only been bowling 3 years.
Both these guys have come a long way in various amounts of time. Alley went pin high on that one.
Now, right straight through the nose for Stan Russell, who has been consistently around the pocket. Jen, you mentioned, you know, the difference in experience. You know, folks, get out and bowl. The proprietors, the BPA people are waiting and willing to help you. Normally they can provide some instruction if you call ahead of time to at least get you started on the right foot.
Summer leagues are coming up.
No
That's a
pun
good
intended.
opportunity. You know,
bet.
it's a short term. No, you know, not a whole lot of obligation as the winter leagues are. It's a good time to get experience, get in a good league, and they're doing a lot of interesting things with leagues. For instance, leagues where they'll give away a bowling ball.
Or trips.
Or trips, you know, all kind of stuff.
Or in
So
your
call
case-
your favorite bowling palace and sign up for a summer league.
Or in Tommy's case, free facelift. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Watch this on the replay. Mike Wilson absolutely gets through a fantastic shot here. Straps it again for a double. The 1-3
really
pocket
strapped.
filled up. Tommy, the guy looks good. You know, in the minors, you scout him out. You can see some potential when you go down. This guy's got some potential.
Doing a lot of strapping here today. Mike Wilson working on a double.
Not trusting the ball again.
The Cleat Kemp factor. I mean, it's a new red factor. I'm sorry.
Freudian slip.
Yes.
A Freudian slip.
Yeah, that was.
It's carried over from our king of TV bowling. Jen has put the hex on her 300 games this year.
Oh, come on now. It's not that bad.
Looking for that spare. And that's a good-looking shot.
You betcha. That's the way you make it. The 3-6-10 covered up fully, all three with the ball.
Boy, we really got a good match going right now. You see Mike talking it over with Sam Coleman. Not a better guy to talk it over with. He'll fill you in on what's going on because he knows.
Oh!
What a great break. This is the shot that we've been waiting for, an off-the-wall clicker to get him going. The head pin's going to go to the wall. It's a light shot. We've been asking him to give it room. Now, he's been listening to this young man. Now, the head pin, center of your screen, is going to go to the left-hand side. Right there. Now it's going to come off the wall, trip into the 4 into the 2, and then go through and take out the 5. Not all bad.
Not bad at all.
There you go. That's what you want to see. You want
Look out, here comes this.
You want to give it the room and trust it. And right now, Stan Russell is doing just that, and it's going to start paying off for him here. Take a look at it on the replay. He gets it out to about the 4th board, and yes, it does hook back. That's the 6-pin, leaning on the 10. Look out, look out.
Oh, his spare shooting has been so nice so far, but that is not a good time to come up empty.
9th frame on a shot that could have struck. You leave an easy spare and then woof it. Your opponent, in this case, Mike Wilson, the man getting ready to bowl right now, lane 6 here at Glenmore, can really salt it away.
You see him. Look of intensity. He knows what he has to do. And that's what he had to do.
Critical 9th frame, Tommy. We've seen it on the Man Show. Well, I tell you what, these young men are showing us that they can earn a spot on the King of Bowling in the next couple of years. Throws an absolute rope. 1-3 pocket annihilated. Changes the whole complexion of the match at this point. 63 in the 8th frame. Cuts the pin or the lead to 13. He's got a strike working. Now, if he strikes on this ball and strikes out in the 10th frame, he can win the match and lock out his competitor.
He goes the crossover route one more time, but again, 10 in the pit.
That's right. Mike Wilson knows that at this point he has now forced his opponent to spare strike in the 10th, and if he gets this one, he can lock him out, take it away. Mike Wilson can be the winner, and Stan Russell couldn't do a thing about it if he strikes here.
So needless to say, the biggest ball of the match so far. Mike Wilson looking good. Oh,
it's not over yet.
Don't bring her in.
Yeah. No brooms in this closet yet.
and a whole lot of skeletons.
Yeah, well, we won't get into that either. If Mike Wilson spares, it gives him a 212. Stan Russell, on the other hand, would have to strike in the 10th, 11th, and 12th frames for 215.
Oh, and he misses the spare badly.
Count is academic at this point. Stan Russell is going to need the first 2 to win.
And how about that count for Mike Wilson? Let's give these young people credit now. Again, we've alluded to the fact they have not bowled on television before, and he has just chalked up a 211.
Scratched.
Yeah,
scratch.
Yes. Fantastic. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh.
It's a tough shot to lose on. He trusted it. He gave it his best shot. Wide, and it came back, but there is a solid 7 standing there. Stan Russell is going to shoot 200 if he makes this spare and lose. There, you see it? In the bag.
Yes, sir.
Very commendable performance from both of them.
You bet. Strike gives him 205, and he loses to a 211. But I tell you what, you really hold your head high when you can throw that kind of game on TV.
No kidding. Stan Russell. A very nice job. And looking to finish in fashion with an 8 count. So Mike Wilson moves on to our final match. We are back at Glenmore Bowl, our final match here on the Pepsi Youth King of TV Bowling, and a couple of fine young competitors. Mike Wilson, the winner of our first 2 games, and David, his opponent in this one.
Well, it's
Jason Asher.
Jason is bowling.
There was my end.
Bowling very well, but
8-10,
the deflection on the first ball. But Mike Wilson shooting 182 in the first game and a brilliant 211 the second game. 393 for the 2. Jason's got his hands full.
Yeah, Jason is getting a 20-pin advantage to start the match here. He picks up 1 of 2, so an open frame in the first.
Takes care of that spot in a hurry, huh?
Sure does.
Doesn't seem to be too rattled there. Just give that gum a little more workout, Jason. He'd be all right.
Anybody get that bucket of chicken yet? I'm still waiting on it.
I am starving.
Okay.
Maybe they don't deliver. I don't know. We gotta talk to Miles about that.
Yeah, Miles Altman.
Okay,
with
we've
some
got
good spices.
okay, good spices, a 6-pack of Pepsi, but where is it? That's what I want to know.
Really?
We've got these umbilical cords here strapped to us. We can't go anywhere.
Mike Wilson once again crosses over for a strike to start the match. And iron number 2.
Maybe we've got him pegged wrong, Tommy. Maybe he's playing the lanes that way. There you go. Gives it a little room. Gets a light mixer there. But believe me, the young men will take anything they get. But Mike is no different than any other competitor. He would like to be more around the pocket than what he's been. But you can't argue with success. If he wins today, he's going to have his choice of a $600, I believe it is, value to a scholarship to the Professional Bowlers Camp, or a $500 scholarship to be used in his schooling.
A fine duo to choose from right there. So Mike Wilson, a strike in the first, spare in the second. Here's Jason Asher from Lakota High School.
Leaves a 4.79 on that one, Tommy, and made an adjustment for the light hit in the 8-10 before. This ball is going to go right straight through the head pin. Now watch it travels through. It's going to take the head pin straight back and the 5-pin with it. There you see it, leaving the 4.79. A difficult split, but one that for the pros is about a 1 out of 5. For the young men, maybe a little more. It's close.
Ooh, nice try on that.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see a good effort on that. And Jason almost was able to bring that one back. Just missing the 4-pin.
As we mentioned, Jason, 16 years old, goes to Lakota High School. He enjoys bowling, weightlifting, golf, fishing, and is a baseball pitcher.
I think Jason was watching Mike's success over there. So we'll make a little adjustment and try to Brooklyn. He over-adjusted, though, leaving the 1-3-9. Just shoot the pocket on this one, ladies and gentlemen, when you leave it, and you should make it. There you see our helpful AMF triangle. Thanks, guys out in the truck. It's a good shot. Got a good crew out there.
The best. The best in the business.
The sports station, isn't that what we say?
That's right.
Exactly right.
Oh, no. Chops the 1 and the 3 off of the 9. Tough break. Tough way to start the match for the young man. Eating up his handicap and then some. 46 in the third. Mike Wilson is in pretty good shape already, as the scoreboard tells us. 46 for Jason. That's a shame, but he's got a lot of paper left, and Mike Wilson is on a roll. He's there.
Good.
He's there.
Good looking shot. He gave it what he had to give there.
And he's going to give it to us one more time here on the replay. 1-3 pocket filled up, no deflection. 9-pin was the last one going down, and a scout. And I asked Lou Hoodapole, my eagle-eyed brother-in-law, before the match started. I said, hey, scope these guys out for me if you would. And Lou scoped out Mike Wilson. And he picked him as to be a definite contender in the match today. And Lou, by George, you've got some scouting details for you here coming up soon.
You know, I've never seen a guy, whether it be on our King, whether it be on our Queen last year, and we'll have that for you as well. But I mean, a guy who crosses over and has had the kind of success that Mike has today.
No, it is amazing that you do get away with those. And, of course, that's great. Most of my mistakes are about bad enough to get me right through the bugle and to leave a split. So I'd love to make a mistake just a little bit more and get over there, Tommy. But you don't see it too often. You're right.
Jason Asher looking to pick up that 5-pin. He's got it.
All right, on the board, Jason.
A lot of these gentlemen bowl in the travel league, which is a great experience. This league travels every Sunday at noontime to different houses throughout the tri-state area. All right, Dave. Dave's making motions over here.
We won't talk about it.
Anyhow, you get to experience all different types of services, different shots, different atmospheres, and it's a real good experience to bowl in that travel league, sponsored by the Bowling Proprietor Association.
Yeah, this shot here, where if he Barrett, Jason, throw the ball. Lying out loud. He got hung up in his release there, folks. See,
the fingers were caught there.
Fingers are caught. Boy, that's pain. I hate it when that happens.
I do too. God.
Again, Wilson crosses over.
I think he balked, didn't he?
Everybody advance.
That's right.
There you see it, the 6-9-10 out of Mike Wilson, going not quite Brooklyn this time. The mistake I alluded to was through the nose.
He made the spare earlier. Should be no problem.
We'll take a look. And
chop.
This time.
Take that back.
The Lee Camp factor. That's where that is.
Always
right there.
wrong. That's what
There
that
we
factor is.
No, Jen, give yourself a little more credit than that now, kid.
Not always. Well, what this has done is actually let Jason right back in the match. 95 for Mike Wilson in the 5th. Should Jason Asher strike in the 6th and 7th frame, would give him 96. He could technically take a 1-pin lead if he throws 2 more strikes. But I tell you what, Mike Wilson is not going to let it get away that easy. He throws an absolutely perfect shot here. Watch it and weep. This one is perfect, Jason.
Back to Jason Asher, and he just a wee bit light.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home and wondering, why is there such a drastic difference? The two players have approached the game in different ways. Jason needs to develop a stronger release and a stronger roll, and you can do that a couple different ways. First of all, you need to physically get in good shape to throw the ball. Hand squeezers, working out with gym devices, whatever. You don't have to be a macho man, but you do need some strength in the forearm. And then you have to learn the proper rotation of the wrist and flicking of those fingers up and around and through the ball, as we have seen Mike Wilson do time and time again.
Jason does have a high game at 270. That's very impressive. Started bowling at the age of 9.
270.
From Lakota. 270 he's got.
Take a couple of those this afternoon. We're going to be over at Super Bowl in the City ABC tournament, singles and doubles at 3 o'clock.
And a nice piece of spare shooting right there from Jason Asher.
Jason also has an all-spare game.
They still give patches for that?
Heck yeah, they do.
Do they?
That's
All
a good accomplishment.
Okay.
Better believe it.
Got one of those in a drawer from my junior days, and my junior days were right here at Glenmore Bowl also as we look at the score. Don't go away. We got a close match here. Mike Wilson is working on 1. Make it 2.
Nice ball.
A Red Sea strike, rip rack, whatever you want to call it, just an
Colin
absolute...
Moses.
Yeah, call him in, part the waters. This ball is perfect. It's going to deflect a little bit to the right there. It takes a 3-pin straight back, and then into the 10.
When he throws them good, they're really good.
Mike Wilson, left lane, working on a double. Jason Asher is still in the match, but he's on the ropes.
Looking for the triple. And he almost had it again. Cross lane.
Crossing over
Cross
again.
over onto the other lane.
Five,
just about.
5-9. The big hook, it's big for pin action, but it's also terribly difficult to control. That's what you have to work on. Control and roll. Control roll. Yeah, I like that.
I'm glad you do.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
Mike goes with the 5-step approach.
And he gets some success right along with it. So Mike Wilson picks up the spare in his half of the 8th frame, and now it's time for Jason Asher's 8th. Looking good.
That was
There
nice.
you go.
There we go, Jason. Way to go.
Jason's got it on his sheet that he does some weightlifting, and I'll tell you what, that's going to pay off for him down the road, because like we said, we've got to get into this game and get physically capable of twirling it up, but also anybody can bowl. Anybody. My mother, my father, even you, Tommy.
That is up for debate.
We still got to get you out and see what you can do. Look out. Look out. Oh, that would have put it right in contention. Jason is still in the match, but that would have been a big, big break for him. Right now, we're looking at about a 30-pin deficit, 29 to be exact.
We have with us this morning Dan Bettinghouse and Walt Tarpley. And Les Horseman, of course, is our host this morning. His sons, very good bowlers. Ron Horseman, of course.
Oh, no. That just about solidified it for Mike Wilson as Jason drops off into the channel shooting the cross lane shot. There you see him. He's still giving the gum a workout. Doesn't look overly upset, but right, hang on, just misses it by about an inch.
And it is a game of inches.
Here at Glenmore Bowl on June 11th, they are going to be having a drop 1 tournament where you bowl 4 games and drop your low game out. It's a handicap tournament, and there will be 2 shifts at 7 and 9:30 on June the 11th.
So come on out to Glenmore. Right here on...
Win some money.
Yeah, Glenmore Avenue, real easy to find off of Harrison. Make that left-hand turn, and you're right here. The reason I say I know how to get here so well is because I drove all over Cheviot to find it this morning due to bad directions.
Yeah, okay.
Come on now, you've been here before.
I've been here before, but we go to so many different houses around the area and tri-state area that it's tough to remember, particularly getting up in years of age, which I am. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tough.
Senility setting in already, right?
Well, a brief stint of senility right there for Mike Wilson as he does not pick up the easy spare.
Well, if Jason Asher should happen to strike out in the 10th frame, it would still only give him 172. Mike Wilson is going to be one of the 3 people going on to face Steve Fehr in a match following this telecast, and we're going to thank the Kilgore chapter of the Telephone Pioneers of America for sponsoring the event, and thank you very, very much. We appreciate sponsors. We always do.
And Dave appreciates fan mail, by the way.
That's right. That's right. Again, thank you, Dorothy. I'm not going to talk about it on the air. It's just going to be yours and my secret. Now, she wrote in and told us what a good job we're doing, first of all, and then wanted to know something about Steve Fehr. And we've talked about him a little bit. And John Gann, I'm told, is going to be dropping off the tour within the next...
He's having another baby. Well, he isn't, of course.
I certainly hope not.
That'd have been one heck of an accomplishment.
John Gann's going to be a family man, and that's bad news for us because that means he's going to come back into the amateur ranks, and he is tough.
Boy, nice shooting right there for Jason Asher. Finishes with a triple, but it's not enough to beat Mike Wilson. We'll be back in a minute.
And we are back. Mike Wilson, you have chosen a one-week fully paid scholarship to the Professional Bowlers Camp. There you go. What are you going to work on when you get to camp?
My arm swing.
Your arm swing?
Yes.
Okay, you had a couple of crossovers today, but they all panned out well for you. Is that part of your game you want to get working on? Okay, good enough. There we see one of your shots. What do you think of this shot here? That's one of your great ones today. Absolutely Red Sea strike. Again, congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Mike. Nice round of applause for him. He does deserve it. Some dynamite shooting today. Now, next week, we've got the women's final for you, coming from Strikes and Spares over in Blue Ash. Until then, for Jennifer Kleekamp and David Newrath, Tom Brenneman saying so long from Glenmore Bowl.